Hi, this is Chad McCanna. This is a special bonus involuntary twitching. It's even less up to me today. We had an issue with our live show, our live podcast, The Conversation. So as a consolation, I'll be streaming Donkey Kong Country 2, and it's quite appropriate considering the game has very recently turned 20 years old. So, title screen, absolutely gorgeous render. I think it was Steve Mails who did this one, but originally, it was the treasure chest that you see there was going to open up in full animation, but apparently at the last minute that was taken out, along with a number of frames of sprite animation by the game's programmer, or lead programmer, Chris Sutherland, so it would fit on the cartridge. Tragic, but understandable. At least we got little sparklies. So the game is automatically going into sort of its looping mode, but I'm going to jump right in. As you can see, I do enjoy a good couch multiplayer. My first playthrough save file is no longer on here. I've since had to overwrite it several times because 3 save files is never enough. But I am playing off my SNES cartridge, so I'm very happy to see that the battery is more or less holding up. But so we can start fresh, I'm just going to take care of this 42% game. And something I definitely want to show off, apart from these 3 fantastic renders, and they did change out the controller colors for Diddy's SNES there. You see it's purple, which is the US button colors, whereas they had red, blue, yellow, and green in PAL and other territories. But if I press down 5 times, I get the music test. And we can listen to pretty much everything in the game. They don't have their ultimate soundtrack titles just yet. But if we press down 5 more times, we get to cheat mode. And what does that say there? Sad Mag? Oh, he must be reading some games magazine. I don't know if that's a pun on like a UK magazine or not, but Dixie scratching her head there. There are a number of codes. One that I talked about probably a little too much on our recent Donkey Kong Country 2 Spotlight on the Conversation was barrel axe, B-A right, A left, A-X, or shoulder, R and L. There's also Ya Sad Lad, Y-A select A down, left A down. Maybe barrel axe was on the first Donkey Kong Country. I can't remember off the top of my head, but a lot of fun stuff to play around with if you know about that. But let's head right into the game. So one thing that I often overlooked on this map screen was the fact that the Gangplank Galleon is actually offshore when you look at it from this vantage point. When you go in, it looks a little bit more like it's in active crash mode or maybe even harbored. Donkey Kong Island from the first game is there in the background. So if you think about where the Galleon was placed in the first DKC, it was actually further off into the distance, which sort of reveals that K. Rool was not approaching the events of the first game from Crocodile Isle. He was coming from somewhere out there, maybe going a ways around and making a sneak attack from behind, the opposite side of the treehouse. All right, so Pirate Panic. Let's start in. Oh, good. Okay, I don't have any input lag, which sometimes happens when you're playing a SNES. One thing I do want to show off immediately before... I'm going to have to reset the game, by the way. There's this trick that gives you 75 Krem coins that I believe is probably for debug purposes, but what you have to do is jump over those bananas, avoid the sneak, grab this DK barrel, kill the neek, avoid the clomp, pick up these bananas. Let's go back. This is tricky because you have to avoid this neek and then avoid these bananas again. Go in. And I don't think we grabbed the balloon. Yep. I might have just broken the sequence. And I think then we kill this guy. I think I probably broke it. No, yeah, I think I needed to ignore that first neek again. Yeah, it's not going to show up. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, so that will give us 75 Krem coins. Which, of course, we don't want for a true playthrough of the game, but I actually am curious what happens when I go into a bonus stage? Does it show that it's checked off, or does it allow me to collect even more than 75 Krem coins? So we'll just make our way very quickly to the first bonus stage. All right, here we go. Run just below this clobber. Jeff86, hey, thanks for showing up.
Yeah, cash prizes.
Okay. Okay, so it does allow you to collect them, but it tops out at 75, which is the game's upper limit. All right, so give me a moment to get up off my ass, and I'm going to reset the SNES, because we don't want this on our save file. Yeah, apologies for the composite loss. It's being upscaled from the original red, yellow, and white cables into HDMI. So, it's not like a direct feed that you'd get off an emulator or even the Wii U. But this is the more authentic way. This is like listening to Banjo-Kazooie, the Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack on the original vinyl. Okay. So, sorry for the clanging around. I'm drinking coffee. Okay, so no worse for the wear. We've got our save file back. Starting the adventure, we're immediately directed to this cabin, which is, of course, evocative of the treehouse and banana horde placement in the first game.
I kidnapped that lumbering fool Donkey Kong, and you'll never see him again. Yar, har, 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 har. Captain K. Rule.
It's nice of him to sign his own letter. All right, so it's sometimes easy to forget, being incredibly familiar with the game, but this is the first thing that you get to see if you're, playing this game for the first time. So immediately they show you an enemy, they introduce you to the plot of the game, then they give you a DK barrel, and finally, we get Dixie Kong. I'm glad they didn't waste any time with that. She's fantastic. Of course, everyone's familiar with her helicopter spin. Something you'll see me do a lot is roll into baddies. It gives you a little speed boost, and it's something that I find really fun to do in this game, especially when they don't really expect you to do so. Another cool thing is this team-up move, which that trail of A bananas showed us to do. Now, I want to pause here because this is a good place to show it off. Look at the background. You'll watch as I move back and forth, the water has this incredible parallax effect, while it's also moving to the side of the screen, and while I'm moving up and down, it sort of vertically squashes and stretches. It's a stunning effect, and it's something the DKC team toyed with in the first game with the underwater sections. You could see the ocean floor and the ocean ceiling, for that matter. Sort of do a bit of a Mode 7 kind of scaling, but here they're introducing extra elements to it, like the water moving along. It's funny, there was a bit of this in DKC 3, but never to this extent. And I don't know if that team was just trying to kind of reverse engineer the original DKC team's techniques, and they didn't quite get it down, or maybe it just wasn't a priority for that production. But it's something I do miss. So a trail of bananas led us down to the first bonus stage. I'm going to grab this. It's very quickly and simply teaching you the basic concepts of the game. Alright, and now we get our first animal buddy, Rambi. I missed it. I always like to collect those bananas so that they go back up into the HUD in an A shape. And Rambi can essentially do whatever he wants. He's not indestructible, as we may find out, but he can still be hit from behind. But any enemy that he hits from the top or with his nose, he can pretty much take out, or at least not be hurt by. He's unable to destroy the red zingers. And another Krem coin for us. Chris Alcock, by the way, current Rare employee, has just informed the Twitch chat that Brendan Gunn is responsible for all those crazy parallaxy fun times. You'll see his name in the end credits, B Gunn. They used first initial last name, and a lot of the last names, like Brendan Gunn's, sort of seemed like they were sort of pirate puns. I thought there might be something up here. I had been sort of once bitten, twice shy from the first game's end credits, and I thought they were. Oh damn! I missed the balloon. I thought they were actually fake names. So a lot of the people whom I've chatted with on Twitter, and some I've actually met at E3 last year, I thought they were completely made up. All right, our first rigging stage, and we're introduced to a Click-Clack, who is one of the more fun baddies in the game. If you don't do what I just did, they actually turn into pick-upable items, carryable. I guess similar to the way that the turtles work in Super Mario Brothers. Yeah. That's strange. I'm having a hard time climbing. Okay, there we go. My D-pad is wanting to hit left or right ever so subtly. I think it may be giving out. I'm using like a 23-year-old controller after all. So one of my favorite sections of this stage is right here. Oh wait, no, it's not. It may be coming up. Oh, that's what I get for looking at the Twitch chat while I'm trying to stream. All right. Okay. I'm doing a little bit of exploration because I'm trying to find this one moment with the parade of Neeks, but I think it might have missed it because of the bonus stage. So maybe we'll come back in and show that off in just a little bit. So here's what I was trying to show you earlier. You can pick up those Click-Clacks. Ah, no, it's right here. God, I didn't realize it was this far through the stage. So they want you to pick up this barrel. I want nothing to do with this barrel because we can actually have the same effect this way. That's so much fun. It's really of no consequence to the game. This banana, of course, telling us that there's a barrel right here to be found. but it's one of those. We used to call them on DK Vine. We had a series that was completely pointless and often harmful fun things to do. I talked about that a little bit on my Banjo-Kazooie stream, which, if you're listening to this near its original publication date, those are still going on for the next few weeks. Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time in the U.S. But at any rate, yeah, usually it would be things like jumping from incredibly high heights to see how much damage you could take, or beak bombing everything in Banjo. But the DKC2 version of that was exactly what you just saw. So this bonus stage is one that oh no, I just ruined it. And can I? Oh man. Oh jeez, I can't believe that. You don't want to break that barrel because you can time it out perfectly if you take the barrel up to this side and throw it just as the first one gets to the apex. It'll take out all of them in one go, and it's very easy to get them without doing that. But it's again one of those completely pointless and often harmful fun things to do that I can't believe I just screwed up. I have a newfound respect for twitching folk. It's incredibly hard to maintain a stream of mouth speaks while still being competent in even a game that you know inside and out, like I do this one. So as you go down, you actually want to be holding both ropes on this bonus because it does give you a little bit of an extra speed boost. I don't think the effects are that pronounced when you're going up, but it's definitely something you want to do going down. Hey lads. Mr. Kyle's Twitch asking, have I heard of the Rareware 301% run? I have not. I'm interested to hear about that though. So, oh, this is cool. This target is timed perfectly so that if you're up on this ledge, you'll always get the the red balloon if you fall straight down. Of course, if we use Dixie's helicopter spin, it'll throw off the timing. Alright, let's go say hi to Cranky at the Monkey Museum. I love how they've decked out his place. We've got Winky from the first game.
Come and say hello to your old grandpappy Cranky. I'm back by popular demand to offer you my wealth of game-playing wisdom for this unnecessary sequel. Girl heroes in video games? Pah! I can't believe it. The main character should be really muscle-bound and carry a gun, not twirl their hair around. You'll spend as much time in here as I do. Here's what I've got.
So, Cranky teaches us some lessons about the game for a price. And for the most part, these are things like using team throw, basic moves and techniques. The really deep tutelage happens at Wrinkly's Kong College. She'll teach you more about hidden bonus stages, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, in the first Donkey Kong Country, there was a strange bug that prevents Cranky from talking about anything except the first world. So the dialogue for subsequent worlds is actually in the game, but you don't really get to access it until much later. Before I get that bonus, this is the first indication that there are hidden things beyond the hidden things that you initially see. And the only indication there is that little hook up at the top. By the way, apologies that the image you're seeing is stretched. Because I am upconverting, my capture and streaming software is assuming that this is... Oh, geez, probably should have been looking up. I lucked out there. It's assuming that this is a traditional 16:9 signal, so I have no recourse. But thank you for bearing with me. Okay, so we've got more details on that 301% run. Let me see if I can glance up while dealing with these kaboings. El kaboing. Oh, that was interesting. Did you see that? So I threw the that chest at the clomp there, but because he was barely off screen when it exploded, the pickup teleported to where I was standing. That's interesting. I don't think I ever consciously clocked that before. And here we're just learning a bit more about... See, and that Neek was barely on screen, so of course it appeared where it should. Okay, so that 301% run. A speed run, it's happening today actually, so this is Saturday the 19th of December 2015, of all three major rare collectathons, Kazooie, Tooie, and DK64. Oh my god, that can't happen in 24 hours, can it? I mean, Banjo-Tooie alone is just massive. Maybe if they're not doing 100%. I mean, I know there are speedrunners that can plow through DK64 in no time, but I do not count myself among them. So these guys you'd normally consider invincible, but I didn't learn until much later that you can actually use the team throw to take them out, which is very helpful in a tight situation. And here's the invincibility. And we want to go through as fast as possible. One difference between this and the Starman that you get in Super Mario Brothers is that whereas that one gives you a timer by the music length, which should be ingrained in your memory if you've ever played Mario, the invincibility barrels in this game are kind of variable duration, and since it's just that looping, you never really have a sense of when it's going to go out, so it keeps you moving. One thing to check out, by the way, the sun in the background has been setting the entire time we've been on this stage. I don't believe you can trigger it coming back up, but just keep an eye on that element of the background and the color of the sunset in the ocean, and once I get past the point I was at, it should continue to go down a bit. Yeah, there it is, little pixel by pixel. And the sky darkens. I was seeing if... Always check beyond the target. Dixie getting her guitar on. Cameron Regal from the DK Vine Tumblr account is asking, did Cranky actually saw the head off of off of a cruncha? Let's take another look at that. I see no other way to read that. You see right up there, and he's only charging $3 for it. So that should indicate the value that Cranky places on Kremling life. Before we go to Lockjaw's locker, of course, let's check in with Wrinkly Kong. And this game, you don't realize it at the time, but you need to pay special attention to background details, like the number of planes.
I'm available to teach courses on how to play this game, or you can just pop in when you want to save your little old game. Now then, how can I help you?
I'm having some throat issues at the moment, so I can't really hit that old lady note as I would like to. She is a bit of a mercenary. She she charges you to save your game while you're in the middle of hostile territory. So she does take a bit of flack for that. It's the inverse of the way Funky Kong operates, who will have not seen yet. Wrinkly gives you the first taste for free, but Funky allows you to permanently unlock the price of traveling between worlds by just paying once. Alright, now we're following down the entire vertical length of this stage, and if you know what you're doing, you can tap back and forth and collect all those bananas, but if you really know what you're doing, you hold right and pick up 2 coins and a 10 spot at the same time. Now I could have left that Clomp alive, and well, actually I'll leave one of these guys alive, and when the water does rise, it's kind of funny to watch, like how they're basically coping with their new drowned surroundings. It slows them down a bit, but I suppose crocodiles are more or less amphibious, so I'll give it to him. He'll need to come up for air at some point. They do not have porous skin through which to breathe. And there's so many, and the water stages are a little frustrating, and you may, if you're in the Twitch chat, start screaming at me because I'm missing things, but there are so many they're not invisible walls, it's the opposite. They are visible non-walls that have little secrets like that trail of bananas, and they're scattered. There's no real indication most of the time that there is anything there, and so I often forget about their placement, so you'll have to forgive me in that event. There is, however, an indication of this one. It's teaching us the A power-up move, which, just like Rambi, sends On Guard hurtling ahead at tremendous speeds. Fairly simple maze here. Clearly my memory is a bit rusty, but we'll sort it out. I think, yeah, it's right up here. You've given us far too much time on that one game. Ah, that's a nice thing about having the animal buddies still be rideable before they introduce the animal buddy barrel, in that as long as you can collect them, you effectively have infinite lives. Now here's a section, unlike the first DKC, you can jump in and out of the water. There are stages that are sort of, to reuse the term, amphibious. But here, I know that the water is about to drop, so what I like to do is power up On Guard and get as far as I possibly can. And I like that the velocity of that, the 1-up, the prize that comes out, is it's actually maintained for how fast On Guard is going, so it shoots it all the way over here. Oh, get our continue barrel. There are a couple different... No problem, I can get this again. A couple different kinds of flotsoms, which are these guys. They share the name with the Banjo-Kazooie baddie. This one, sort of... you saw he was going vertically until he got to this height, and then he just goes back and forth. We'll also see Shuri's here, and there are several different attack patterns that these guys have. It's cool how they actually differentiated between the behaviors with the colors. Watch if I follow this flotsam over. See, he's more lightly colored. This one is a little more green, and that's a key indicator of how they move differently. Very subtle, but it's nice that they took the time. As opposed to the first Donkey Kong Country, where... hello, on guard. Where, there are many different colors of not clumps, of critters and zingers, but it's entirely cosmetic. Boom. Yeah, you'll see a lot of me kind of hugging the perimeter just to make sure I don't accidentally miss anything. Yeah, those guys, once they start chomping, they will go to wherever they saw you. So initially saw you, that is. Alright, another one of those dropping moments, so... Oh, a little too high. Here we go. Pick up that hero coin. I always felt bad for Engard in these moments, knowing that he's gasping for breath, but he doesn't seem to be complaining much. It's kind of a funny moment, though. I like that they forced you to encounter that. And also, if you're not quick enough, then you have no way of collecting that little banana bunch. And we haven't missed anything over there. Those guys are intended to be taken out by Engard. Nothing over here. So we'll just try and time it out to get the one-up balloon. And, of course, I failed. So, Swanky's bonus bonanza. Swanky, that is. I used to call him Swanky because I didn't know the term Swanky.
Give him a big hand, folks. Good evening, I'm Swanky Kong, and you're tonight's contestants on my bonanza. It's easy to play. Just pick a game and you're away.
Oh, that was a rhyme. I should have done that in a more metered fashion. Okay, so Swanky has multiple choice questions. He also features the giant, the boss banana with the Nintendo sticker, and one-ups from the original game. Let's play his first one.
What's my name?
Swanky, Wonky, or Stinky?
You clever little monkey. Now listen carefully. What's the first enemy that you see?
That, of course, would be the Neek, the furry rat, which is this game's analog for the beavers, the naughties in the first game. I like option C, an ugly earthworm. That may have been a dig at Earthworm Jim, who was a major mascot platformer competitor in 1995. There's another dig at him way towards the end of the game.
Alright, let's try this one. What's the name of this area of the island?
Gangway Garbage, Gangland Galleon, or Gangplank Galleon.
Well done!
The Pirate Puzzler.
What button do you press?
To run, of course. Button Y. But the start button would make for somewhat complex hand contortions.
Try this one.
First level of the island is Pirate Panic, though considering how we dealt with it, it might as well have been Pirate Punch Up.
That's what I'm looking for.
Oh God, I wonder how much they had to have thought to think of these, like, good job kind of statements for every single question in the game.
What's the name of the enemy boss who's kidnapped Donkey Kong?
I always loved Captain K. Rap and Corporal K. Reap. I liked the idea that if DK Vine was going to consider the rappers from Donkey Kong 64 as canonical characters, that at least these might have been good names for them. At least Captain K. Rap, because not only is that a great shit pun, but hey, he's got rap right in there. But of course, he's Captain K. Rool.
Well done! You got them all right!
I'm prepared to declare Swanky Kong the announcer of Donkey Kong 64. DK Vine Cannon.
In the first level, how many windows did the captain's cabin have?
So this is where you really need to pay attention to those background details. I believe it was 4. Yeah.
Let's have another.
The first rigging level. Main brace mayhem. Ropey rubbish is might be a joke on Ropey Rumble, which was, I believe, in the first world of the first game.
On to the next round.
Which of these is not a background object of the captain's cabin? They're really making you work for this blue balloon. A sword, a map, a gun. There's definitely a map. Let's try gun. Yep. And that may be because the captain has taken the gun along with him. And I like that it's not just like leave. They refer to this as a studio. You know, bamboo construction and fairy light sign.
Didn't they do well? Give them a hand, folks. Whoa, whoa.
Topsail Trouble, our second rigging stage. And our first introduction to a brand new animal buddy. This is Rattley. And he's essentially a replacement for Winky, who was the game's previous high jumper. One thing I do love about Rattley, and I like that they give you this high jumping clump, is that you know, they teach you immediately that you need this guy to take those guys out. But one thing I do like about Rattley is that you can jump at any point while he's walking, which was never always apparent with Winky because of the way he sort of floated along the ground. But even when I'm at the kind of the apex of a bounce, they want you to use your power-up move in a lot of instances. But sometimes if you just wait till you're at the top of your bounce, you can actually make it up to some of those places like this. He also, it's effectively how the roll jump works with the Kongs, where as long as you leave the ground without jumping, you can still jump again. Well, that's not always true for just running straight off, but it works in the same fashion. I'll show you a really good example of it in a moment here. There will be a cluster of, here they are. So the game wants you to, it wants you to use your power-up move to get up there, but if I wait till I've bounced high, I can just do it like that. Also, one thing I like to try and... Oh, well, I messed that up. One thing I like to try and do is get all of those bananas without falling, which I've already failed at, but let's see if we can do it again. Ah! I'll give it one more go and then I'll move on. Oh, there we go. Alright. Now this is another place where it really makes you work for this chest. You have to get it up on a, up to that ledge, which means you need to dismount, remount, throw up instead of over. So it's a little bit fancy for effectively, what is this, the fourth stage of the game, but it's nice for more advanced players. You may have missed this crate. Crates would come back in Donkey Kong Country 3, but they only appeared in one stage. It was one of the waterfall stages. Kind of strange. I always thought that might have been because they were included as an item in the player's guide, or in the instruction booklet rather, and it had like gone to print, and they didn't want it to be inaccurate, so at the last minute they just threw in a single crate somewhere. Maybe they had enough memory for that extra sprite and object. That's a theory. I have no idea if that's what happened, but it's the only explanation I can think of for why a solitary crate is in that game. Alright, so here's one of those sections where the game is sort of fooling us, but there is an indication something's going on. So you may wind up kind of jumping to see if you can reach up there, and oh, all of a sudden, a hook appears. There are a few completely hidden items like that, but unlike the first DKC, very rarely do you have to make a complete leap of faith. There's always something a little off that indicates that there may be more than meets the eye. Flitters are the dragonfly baddies. They're not usually a menace, but in that situation when you're on a rope and you can't otherwise move around very well, or you can't attack, I should say, they can get in your way. Alright, so unlike the last rigging level, which really played around with both vertical and horizontal distances, or navigation, this one is a relatively linear pathway through the stage, and it requires you to do a bit more intricate platforming. Often missed. They also make sure to give you this crate so that you can take out this Zinger and still get the full end of target prize, which in this case, it's still optional insofar as the rest of the Kong letters are optional, but you know, for something of that magnitude that you've been collecting throughout the stage, it would be kind of a slap in the face to give you a blue balloon, but not let you complete the Kong. Alright, let's go say hi to Funky. Looks like the chat talking about Ratley's sound effects. Oh, I love those. I don't remember what he sounded like in the Game Boy Advance, but yeah, his honk is fantastic.
Looking good, dudes. I'm Funky the Man Monkey, and my new Funky's flights could take you anywhere Crocodile Isle, provided, of course, you've already checked it out. Cruise over to the barrel, man, and ride the skies. Haha.
So, as I said, we can hire the plane for 2 coins. There's nowhere to go at this point.
She's all yours, dude.
So we'll just go straight back into the galleon. I do like that the plane moves quite a bit quicker around the map. I would always do this before I fight a boss, because what a boss does is generally it sends you straight back to the overworld map, and then you would have to backtrack to save your game. So typically, right before and sometimes right after a boss, I'll go to Rinky the Frog, Wrinkly, and save the game. Yes, it does cost 2 coins, and if you've just hired the plane, the plane, it might not be entirely within your budget, but we had 9 coins burning a hole in our pocket, so I don't see no harm. Now, in every boss battle in this game, or at least most of them, might not be every single one, might not be a Cudgel in the swamp, there are 2 hidden banana coins. In this case, they require a team-up throw into an area that you may think is completely off limits. You might not even know that that's a platform, strictly speaking. It's nice that they gave all sorts of little hidden bonuses. I want to give Dixie a chance to have her face on the map. I've been playing as Diddy an awful lot. Now this section, I believe it sort of trips up some speedrunners because I believe it's more or less random which of the eggs will fall through the floor and you know where they go and which ones you can pick up. See, it's like this would be a very bad speed run. Okay. And he's still twitching. I think in the Game Boy Advance version, his shadow actually floats from out of his body, but he's not long for this world. But we'll catch up with him again soon. We've got the DK coin, the hero coin rather, often called DK coins, but these are video game hero coins. And we've got the exclamation mark indicating that we've completed all of the bonus stages. Moving along to Crocodile Cauldron. I love that you get here and it's just like red staring you in the face. It was really cool to see, or cool but intimidating, that they made the second world, the fifth platforming stage, a lava one. Usually that's reserved for Mario's final world. Since I don't have Dixie, I can still use a well-timed baddie bounce to get a little bit of an extra boost, which allowed me to grab that darkened chest. I like that because those sections are a little darker up on those ledges, that they hide the chest by adjusting its lighting accordingly. Really cool parallax effects in the background. You see one of the also in the far background layer of that parallax. You'll see how they do some some palette rotations on individual pixels to give that flowing effect. Same thing was used for the lava in the first Monkey Island game, toward the very end of that game. Alright, so I'm gonna wait until he comes back, and then I love the clamp-ons. It's in my mind, like, the animation of these clamp-ons, the way they sort of pause as they're chomping, is the same type of improvement that was made between Winky and Ratley. It gives them a bit more of a weight and presence in the world versus the claptraps of the first Donkey Kong Country, which would just move at a standard velocity back and forth. There weren't any of the subtle movements that you get. Let's see in the chat. discussing flame retardants that K. Rool used on the wrecked ship. Yeah, that is a good point. There's a lot of wood in this volcano. So Squitter. Squitter is by far my favorite animal buddy of the entire series. We're being taught his Y, which gives his attack webs, and they can go up, they can go down. But he also, by hitting the A button, or I think the R button, yeah, I just hit the R there, he creates platforms. So if you know that already, you can get that DK coin, the hero coin. I'm going to be correcting myself a lot. Sometimes, if you're really quick about it, you can land on the same platform you've just thrown without hitting the ground. It's kind of hard to do, though. Yeah. Not always a sure thing, so I certainly don't depend on it when I'm platforming over open lava, for example. You're prevented from shooting webs of any kind while you're bouncing on the croc heads. I'm hitting those buttons right now. Nothing's happening. Here you can see that they've sort of suggested some stair steps for us to lead us into this bonus stage. Later on, once you have control of a Squitter, the game sort of depends on you to figure that sort of thing out for yourself. But we're still well into the tutorial stage. Another thing that this game does, which is kind of interesting, but I'm not sure I entirely approve of it, is that in the first two worlds, every single stage has a warp barrel that you run in, and it essentially deposits you at the end of the stage. Maybe that's for more experienced players who don't want to put up with the tutorial sections, but I don't know. I myself, it's all such a fantastic game. It's not really a chore. I love these early stages. I love what they bring to the table. If you watch a speedrun of Donkey Kong Country 2, the first two worlds are extremely boring because they almost spend more time on these little lightening and darkening animations that last a second and a half each than they do actually playing the game. It's just a lot of loading and unloading of areas. Alright, and we've gotten Squitter all the way to the end, so we can collect our reward. Probably should have checked what was beyond the target, but that's okay. You know what? Let's go say hi to Clubba. I don't think we have enough yet to get past. Yeah, we're one coin short.
Now here's the landlubbers. My name is Cleaver, and to cross me bridge, it's gonna cost you many pieces of eight. And if yours don't pay up, I'll run you through.
Like the pirates and ghoulies.
Run you through. It costs 15 Krem coins to cross over, mateys.
Oh, I need to stop doing that. It's kind of killing my throat. I can't pay him, unfortunately.
Get lost and fetch me lots more treasure, yes, scurvy dogs.
So, you know what? I'm a chicken hawk. I'm gonna fight him. I love how cocky Clubba is about it. He's just laughing at them as he hits them with his giant club made of spikes. Alright, let's see Swanky again. We have enough coins for a couple of games. Wish you could win everything. I really do. He's increased his prices by 1, but I think this is the upper limit. So the Cranky Challenge. The first lava level on this level is Hothead Hop. It is helpful that they only ask you questions for things that you would have been able to see up to the point at which you encounter Swanky. The name of this area of the island is Crocodile Cauldron, of course. There are no alligators in this world, although my theory is that the hotheads are derivative of gharials. Try this one. How many times did you have to hit the end of area giant bird? Wasn't it 4? Yeah. Usually it's 3 in these situations, so I wanted to go with a multiple of 3 just on instinct, but yeah, it actually was 4. That's strange, that. Lucky lava. What colors were the crocodile heads you jumped on in the first level? Green and brown? Clever little monkey. And if Dixie was playing, he would have said the same thing, so... extra lives, balloon colored red. So that's one in favor of Dixie being a monkey who's either tucked her tail or, my favorite theory, she has a freak deformity in which her tail is growing up out of the back of her head and she's using her ponytail to cover it. How many levels were there on the first area of the island? 5. Yeah. So that, in my mind, that explains why she's able to, why her hair is effectively prehensile, and she can use it to grasp hooks and that sort of thing. This the same way that Diddy uses his tail. Not a popular theory, but I like the idea. It's absurd enough to work. To get an extra life, banana bunches are 10. That would, of course, cost us 10. Where did the beetle first appear during the first area of the island? He was on level 2. The click-clacks were right at the beginning of Main Brace Mayhem. No, not Main Brace Mayhem, was it? Yeah? Anyway. Diddy's ponytail girlfriend, of course, we know that she is Dicky Licky Kong. Oh, they didn't put Diddy Ann. That was, for a long time, Dixie's working name was Diddy Ann. That was just revealed by Greg Mail's tweets. He's the lead designer of Donkey Kong Country 2. You can find him on Twitter at Ghoulyboy, G-H-O-U-L-Y-B-O-Y. And he has been tweeting out facts about Donkey Kong Country 2 for the last few weeks. I think they might have dried up. Under the hashtag DKC2is20. So give Twitter a search for that hashtag. There's some incredible behind-the-scenes insight. Cannon's Claim. This will be, of course, our first mine level. I always love the backgrounds in this. There's about to be something incredibly devilish in this game. We need Dixie for it, of course. A much more well-hidden bonus stage than we have seen thus far. But not only that. Most players will get to the end of this game, of this stage, and be wondering where that hero coin was. They've hidden it inside a bonus stage. That's how insidious the design now is, and the difficulty only ramps up from here. I like this bonus, and I like this item because it forces you to be cooperative as you're playing through. It's especially fun in two-player team multiplayer because it requires you to communicate with your partner. Like, okay, your turn, go for it. Take out this cannon. We can use those barrels as platforms. I think we're going to see a little bit of slowdown here. Yeah. Yeah, those when that cannon is shooting out, and I say cannon with a K, which is the name of the boss, not the generic object cannon. When that cannon is shooting out barrels, we can, and in some cases, need to use them as platforms. But when he shoots cannonballs, it's not quite as up to us. Alright. This one, I think it's the third one that I usually use. Yeah. It's difficult to time that one out without being hit by the zinger. It's also tough sometimes when you only need to move a little bit of distance and you're being fired out of there, because it gives you a lot of control over your left and right movement when you're being fired out of that barrel. Sometimes you don't want that much, so it's very easy to overshoot. Alright. On these slight little steps up on the mine stages, very often there will be something hidden back toward the left, so it's a good idea to keep Dixie around, if at all possible. I know I've just been jabbering incessantly, but how about the music on this stage? It's shocking that this was left off the official soundtrack release, but it was. Alright. Now, good reason to keep those guys alive if you don't have both players. Since we do, though, we could have used a team-up move to get to that barrel. I'm going to try and get all the bananas. I think it's possible, if you do it just right, to get all the bananas and still make it up in time. I missed the first set, but, well, and I just screwed up there, so we're just going to go straight for it then. Alright, now this one, for some reason, this guy always gave me a lot of trouble. Alright. You have to be very quick to do that without him getting off a shot, and then while you're up here having just thrown the barrel, you can be hit by that. Oh, nice little thing with Dixie. I love how her fingers kind of spread out in that last little frame of animation when she's ducking. You know, considering how low res everything is back in these days, it's cool that they even went to that level of detail. Alright. You may have seen this Diddy barrel over there. If you throw Diddy into the... Never mind. Never mind. Maybe if you do it upward. Yeah, if you throw Diddy upward, even playing as Dixie, you don't have to switch characters. You saw that bonus stage right there. You know what? I don't feel like going the right way around. Let's do a bit of cheating. And this is not a kill the baddies, but I just love the sound effects of when you do get rid of them, especially the flitters. That it's really satisfying. It's very hard to get that one-up bonus. Just one moment. I'm going to pause right here, take a quick restroom break, and be back in about, 45 seconds. All right. We don't quite have a need of Funky just yet, so we'll continue on to Lava Lagoon. I'm almost certainly going to miss some bonus stages here. I mentioned previously that on these underwater stages they can be particularly tricky because they have a lot of the visible non-walls. But here, you actually have a timer that dictates how long you have to explore, so it's very easy to overlook a lot of these. There is a neat little secret. If you get the water level to rise... Oh wait, no, that might have been on a different stage. At one point, there's an area that you can swim up to once you get the water level to rise, but apparently that's not here. Yes, as you'll see, I'll be making a lot of journeys to and from Clapper to make sure that this doesn't happen to me. Not lava, strictly, despite the stage's title. Superheated water. And those bananas up there, and in many cases down here, that's a trap. I'm going to hold left as I'm going up here and pick up this banana coin. One of those frustrating items that, of course, if you didn't know about that, you'd get right here and then you'd see a banana coin floating right below you, and you'd be frustrated a bit. I think there's on guard in this stage. God, it's been so long. Alright, I was never sure what to do with this, or perhaps I was, but I've forgotten. Maybe it's just a little reprieve from the insanity, but it always struck me as again, another trick to keep me in the lava longer than I want to. Oh, it's really slowing down now. Oh, God. Whew! I was like 1 or 2 frames off of getting hurt there. Yes, here's On Guard. I knew he was down here somewhere. Alright, and what I would usually do, because I am completely freaked out by this stage, is get off of On Guard and reset the timer. Puffed ups. See, you'd think there would be something up there, but there's not. It's really hard to tell. I think there may be something down there, though. I'm definitely gonna miss a bonus level down here. Yeah, I knew about this. And then you can do kind of this move, yeah. And then he turns into a yeah, there's a barrel here that you use to open up this door. Now there's, you know, despite what you may think, it's not always foolproof using On Guard's nose. There are a few frames in his animation cycle, even when you're stabbing, that leave him vulnerable. So if you go through this bonus stage in particular, some of the time you might wind up getting hurt and losing the stage without realizing why it happened. That seems to be the reason. That's my working theory anyway. That On Guard is left slightly vulnerable. Ah, I thought I had time to pick him up. Oh well. We'll get Dixie back soon. Yeah. And there's one of these, one of those puffed ups that actually sort of lead you toward a banana coin. Okay, so here's one of those really harrowing sequences. What? Wow. Alright, game, that's how you want to play it, huh? Whoa, that's never happened to me before. I know that's what all the guys say, but... Alright, well, let's get back to that point as quickly as possible. At least I did see from the screen that we've got all the bonus stages in here, so I can stop fixating on the borders. Eh. Okay. That's funny. Alright, so what you actually need to do... It's a very short-lived lava coolant, and it turns neon red while you're down here, so we should be getting hurt at this point. But thankfully we have that... Oh, I don't want to activate him. Oh, he died. Damn it. Okay. If you have a single player, that's what you need to do. Oh, I should have. It would have been funny to put him up on that little ledge so that while, you know, they're doing their end of level animation, he's just kind of going crazy trying to hit them. Say hi to Wrinkly. Save it again. Chris Alcock is who I believe is a tester on the Game Boy Advance version of this game. Says there's a trick. Clapper points the direction that he wants you to go. So the one just after the halfway barrel points left. The one leading to the hero coin points to the right, even though the proper route is left, and that's the way they bounce you. Interesting. Okay, so as long as... Don't do as Clapper points, not as he bounces. I had never noticed that. That's more than we learned from Wrinkly. Okay, Red Hot Ride. This stage always confused me as a kid. You can team up to get whatever's hiding up here. Almost always something. I didn't realize that this shaft of steam coming up out of the volcano was actually crucial to the gameplay. It's what keeps the balloon floating. But in fact, if you don't know that, there will be a point at the stage in which there's a giant gap of lava, and you'll just float into the into the fiery depths. I like to find different ways of tackling these little sections. I don't think there's anything in here. Yeah, they would have pointed us there somehow, at least this early into the game. So these guys right here, I want you to... Oh, I didn't mean to kill him. I wanted you to see how the slightly yellowish clobbers actually take away bunches of bananas every time they hit you, as opposed to the green ones which just knock you about. And we'll be introduced to yet another variety of clobber that's quite a bit more dangerous, but that won't be for a little while. I like that you can trigger this animation of Rambi. Strangely, though, Diddy seems to think that he needs to keep walking. So, as might now be apparent, there's a significant advantage to having that's what I'm doing, to having Rambi on this stage. It gets very claustrophobic on top of these balloons otherwise. Alright, let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. I think it's in, yeah, there it is. That's very easy to overlook. And I think probably as an offset to the difficulty of finding the bonus stage, they make it very easy to achieve. That's about as simple as one of the bonus stages on Pirate Panic. Now you see that banana hovering just below? I've already got the halfway barrel, so I'm going to be a little cocky with it. Diddy has the superior roll jump. Now this one it gives a lot of trouble to folks, and might also give me trouble. But you do have to try and get these higher stars while the balloon is descending. Which can be a little nerve-wracking, considering how tiny that platform actually is. I wonder, did you see that? That continue barrel was right there, despite the fact that I had already hit it. I wonder if it actually had been triggered by the game. That's a little bit of a bug. Huh. Interesting. If I were to have died without hitting it, would I then have to start at the beginning? Despite the fact that I already hit it. Huh. We're learning all kinds of stuff today, aren't we? And now they're sending baddies towards us. Don't you wish we still had Rambi? Not to worry, though. A little bit of backtracking will sort this out. Another one of those places where you have to do a thing while the balloon is descending, so it's a little tricky. Aha! It's not quite as simple as just the Kong letter. Of course, that item is optional, so you may see that level of difficulty required and say, I don't really need to be bothered for what's effectively a quarter of a 1-up. But you wouldn't have known about that hero coin. And I also like how they give you that TNT barrel, and then they hide that banana coin behind that zinger. So you might think you're being very clever by using it to take out this one. it's a reward within a misdirect. It's a complete bait and switch. Fantastic design. Oh, okay. So here I can show you off. There we go. He's taking care of himself. As long as we get that banana bunch back, no harm, no foul. It starts to get a little hairy here. And at a certain point, they'll start throwing balloons at you, like this one, that aren't even contained over a vent of any kind. There's a moment coming up with some zingers, yes, that I don't know if it's helpful, but I would always duck through. And while ducking through, I would wonder why in the instance before wasn't the balloon popped by the zinger's spiky bits. I suppose there are some mysteries to life that don't need answers. That's amazing. The Twitch chat talking about the harmonica in the music, the shadows on the rock columns. This game has such depth that, you know, even now, 20 years on, we can pick it apart, find new things to appreciate. Just every little element, you know, down to the hex values on individual colors. You know, just everything it had thought put into it. Nothing in this game is haphazard or accidental. It's so tightly constructed. Really impressive. Squawks' Shaft, another one of those stages. It's very easy to miss bonus levels. That crook always turns around when you're on his horizontal level. Okay, I don't think there's anything but a warp barrel out to the side, so it's very difficult to get this one. I'm gonna try it, but I'll probably die. Ooh, okay. Yeah, there is one of those warp barrels that I mentioned further out there, but that's cheating. And not the kind of cheating that I want to do in the game, which is showing off cool tips and tricks. Another one of those rolling is fun things. I like to wait till they're all kind of in a cluster and then do it. I also get paranoid on these mine stages about things being out in this direction, like that, because often as not there is an advantage to looking off of the camera. Oh, it might be in there. Should probably see to that. Oh, jeez. Okay, good. Whoa, those... Oh, they reappear. I was wondering where they went, but I guess because they fell off the screen, they were sort of returned to their original location, those treasure chests. Alright. Couple ways we can tangle with this section. I like to do it that way. And then I think we get a 1-up. I thought it was a green, a 2-up, but that's okay. Ah, so here they're getting clever. If you recall, I mentioned that we can throw our partner into a barrel, but this one requires us to use the team-up move. So you have to be playing as Diddy and throw Dixie into this one. It's cool. They're already kind of mixing up your expectations. You know, one of the lessons that I learned when it came to kind of directing and editing, you know, film projects, is that you're allowed to break the rules, kind of the conventions of filmmaking, but before you do that, you need to understand why those rules exist and have a reason for breaking them. Otherwise, it's completely haphazard. And the same kind of applies to the player's experience as they're going through this game. You know, you need to have them understand a certain mechanic before you can expect the player to want to stretch its limits. And you know, we had been introduced to those barrels in that bonus level earlier on, so now we're finally giving us the opportunity to play with those Diddy and Dixie barrels a little bit more, see exactly what they're fully capable of. You know, you need to walk before you can run, and that applies both to making a creative product or sometimes even consuming one, as in this case. So folks are talking about how great the blue glow is on this stage. Yeah, you look at the... Oh, I've just been forced. We can now move. We can't backtrack whatsoever. The camera's forcing our hand. But yeah, check out just around the background. There's like this this glow. It's fantastic. Ah, yes, this is our first time to ride Squawks in a Donkey Kong Country game. I like how he flaps as often as you hit the Y button. I also like doing this. It is possible to get that thing to boomerang back behind you and be hit by it. See if I can trigger anything like that. Yeah. There we go. It's cool that they even thought of all those weird little edge cases like that. Alright, now over here... Actually, it's on his platform. Over here, not only a hero coin, but a bonus stage. This is an extremely important section. You know, if you look at the level title on the world map after each stage, and you miss that little section, not only will you not see the hero coin, but you'll not get the exclamation mark indicating that you've done everything. Oh shit! Was this find the end or kill the baddies? I wasn't paying attention. Probably kill the baddies, considering there are some sort of hidden away. There we go. And even if it's not on screen, you can always hear that you've, you know, done what's needed of you from that little chime sound. Boom, bidoodoo. Sort of like the Zelda do 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 do. Oh, yeah. Now I want to make sure I'm not missing anything, because it's the camera, as you saw before, it does kind of force you. See, like now I probably... Oh, I guess I can. In some places you actually can't go back down once you've completed it. Or once you've gotten to a certain area. Nope, missed it. Did I get it? Yay! Okay, so I think that does it for the world. Alright. Yeah, let's go save it. As is tradition. And now we can tangle with Cleaver. So something interesting about Cleaver. I'm going to try something I've never tried before. There's a fantastic Donkey Kong fan site, kind of a sister site of ours, in that we just cross-promote each other constantly, called DKC Atlas. It's dkc-atlas.com, and they've actually ripped and recreated animated versions of every level map in the first two Donkey Kong countries, and some of Part 3. Now, on their level map for Cleaver's Kiln, there's this huge section of the stage out to the left that's over what looks like an insurmountable hill. I've never gone up there, but I don't think you can. Yeah, the camera won't even allow it. Yeah. Interesting, though, that's, for some reason, that's in the game data. Okay, so you saw me jump over a few arrows. That's actually not something you want to do in every case. Oh, shit. Well, I've just lost Dixie. So it's really moot at this point. Because you want to make sure that that Cleaver has finished with his cycle of chasing you here in this next phase before a cannonball drops. So I'm actually going to waste a little bit of time. Without Dixie, I can't get these 2 banana coins, but see. Ah, he's really hard to do with Diddy. Dixie, of course, holds the items above her head. With Diddy, you have to throw up and hope for the best. You have to vomit and hope for the best. So this time I'm going to start with Diddy. So if I muck it up, then at least we'll have Dixie as a backup, and she's much easier to fight this guy as. Ooh. If you don't get that at just the right timing, his fireballs will actually take out the cannonball. Okay. Let's see if I can get it with a Diddy upchuck. I won't say throw up. No. Whoa! At least I got one of those. Now here's where I say I don't want to get too far ahead of him. That might have been cutting it a little close, but I want to make sure that the cannonball has fallen from the ceiling by the time I get there. And that'll do it. Kind of feel bad for him in this section. Although the noise that his bits of bone make as they're flying around sort of reminded me of one of the fatalities in Mortal Kombat. Alright, let's move on to not Krem Quay, but Krem Quay. I love these swamp stages. Not quite as visually interesting as some of the other ones. As you can see, the background is just this flat surface. It would have been nice to get some parallax with those trees, but a minor complaint considering how like lush and grimy, like simultaneously, everything looks. And the music, you know, obviously it's a fairly overt Phil Collins reference, but fantastic tune by David Wise. It's certainly appropriate considering he's using crickets, you know, bugs, cicadas, known in the UK as cicadas, as instruments. It's really, really clever. Gonna be backtracking in case you missed that. Just below the screen, it actually shows off that barrel. You can barely see it. Alright, now these guys often have little little Easter eggs in the stuff that they throw. Those two don't, but we won't want to just ignore them. Switch to Diddy for his roll jump abilities for a moment. And unlike the first game, whenever you go slightly off, whenever an animal buddy goes slightly off screen, it doesn't mean that they've despawned. It's all these little improvements that make Donkey Kong Country 2 so much better than the first game. Ah, one of the yellow ones. Okay, check this out. He giveth and he taketh away. But with Rambi it doesn't matter much. And here they're putting the cannon ahead of the horse a bit. But that arrow will tell us what to do. And this is our first kind of official in-game directive that there's more to the cloaks than meet the eye. And helpfully, he'll drop right down for us. I think a running leap is in order here. Yeah. Oh. Chris Alcock with another fun fact. The Phil Collins song In the Air Tonight was written specifically for Miami Vice. Interesting. I thought it was always about like something he witnessed where a person let another person drown, which if that is the case, then it's among the most literal song lyrics ever composed. Okay, this guy has got another little treat for us. Infinite 2-ups! Yay! Well, if we don't destroy ourselves in the process. One more. And you can just keep milling for, just grind for those 2-ups as long as you want. I like that the various clobbers are steel-rimmed barrels. Actually, I don't think there are any non-steel-rimmed barrels that break after a single hit, as there are in the first Donkey Kong Country. In this game, it's all steel or some other kind of... Oh, actually, now that I think on it, the crates serve the exact same function. Oh, so that was smart of them. Yeah, the crates are effectively identical to those non-steel-rimmed barrels. They're just more visually distinct. Good job, DKC2 team! Once again, everything in this game has forethought. Got it. Yeah, you can tell I'm continuing to lose my voice. This is E3 all over again. But that won't stop us from having a Banjo-Kazooie Twitch stream tomorrow. Worry not. Mad Monster Mansion waits for no man. Okay, so a couple little bonus sections. We went straight into 3, but I know that there's a 2. And it's right here. And not to be outdone by the 3, this stage also gives us a 4. That's a little bit more mandatory than those others. Yeah, I'm playing this while there's a significant glare on the screen, so I may miss some things that you'll be screaming at me about if you're watching in the Twitch. Alright. Now, this isn't a maze. It is a linear pathway, but because it's so dark, I think therein lies the difficulty. I always thought... I liked how when it's dark and you look at these Krem coins, it looks as if they're like soaking in soda or some like kind of dark viscous liquid that, you know, it's... If it was just water, then they would look identical because water's transparent, but since it's also dark, they darkened the color, but it... yeah, it always just looked like... Because when I was a kid, you used to be able to, or you still can, you can clean coins by leaving them overnight, like in Coca-Cola, or Pepsi, if that's your bag. So, you know, that's a visual thing that I would have had in my head when I was younger. Alright. So in the Virtual Console version of this game, they have taken out this strobe effect that you get. They also, I think they took it out from Squawks in the first game where he holds the lantern, but something I like to do, another one of those completely pointless, often harmful things, is, in this case, harmful to your vision, that is trying to pause the screen on that, as I have just done. It usually takes me a lot longer than this. It's like a single frame of all white. Epileptics might want to think twice about playing this one. Janelle gets bad, my wife Janelle gets bad optical migraines, especially for big flashy things, so she actually has trouble with this stage for that reason. Usually this is one, if we're playing it, you see all those two-player files at the beginning, one of those is the two of us, she would always have to leave the room and hand the controller to me on this one. Ah, I'm already missing things. Fantastic. Sorry, I'm trying to read the Twitch chat as I'm playing. Not the best idea in the world. I feel like we're missing something. Just a big open chasm. Okay. By the way, this is as good a place as any to point out. Watch the background. You see that big kind of plank of wood in the foreground? Watch what happens as I descend below it. That thing is 3D-ish. It's like this insane Mode 7 effect that not only scales vertically, but also horizontally. God, I wish you could see more than just what's in Clanker's sights, or Glimmer's sights, but... oh, it's so good. It's so good, you guys. Brendan Gunn. I hope you got a solid bonus for this game. If that is your real name. Yeah, I really do feel like I have to look around a lot more than might be strictly necessary on these underwater sections. I thought there's an on-guard coming up here soon. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Oh, I swear there should be a... This is what happens when you get into your 4th decade on this globe. You start forgetting extremely important things, like whether or not a cartoon swordfish is in a random stage in a game from 20 years ago. Yeah, I definitely missed on guard. Ah! Oh my god. Okay. Well, let's charge ahead. We may have to come back to this one at some point. Oh wait, no. No, because I remember you would always have to do this manually. Like there's... Yeah, that's why it's so difficult, because you have to tangle with the snapjaws, or lockjaws. Okay, so maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. Although there is a water dropping moment coming up, I think. It's all kind of blurring together. I do know that there's some hidden type stuff down here. It gets very labyrinthine, especially considering you can only see a small section of the level very clearly. Now this one is definitely a maze. Let's see how well I do in navigating it. Fairly. Okay, I'll take that. No. Oh, did you catch that? It actually, I was hit while Glimmer's thing was covering the whole screen, so the game itself paused on that totally white frame. Oh, that was cool. Ah, there's got to be something over there. There's got to be something over there. But now I'm super nervous because I've only got Diddy. I am definitely missing something. Oh, there's that. Okay, I can be confident that's all that was over there. Okay, and sometimes these guys explode in diagonal directions. It's hard to tell which. I think there's a very slight palette differentiation. Oh, this is the one I mentioned earlier, he'll rise up when you hit a certain horizontal point. Or actually, no, he must be on a timer. But I don't think it's really worth it to brave that when I've just got Diddy. I think I might have missed a bonus stage. I really do. At least I can take out the spiny and feel good about myself. 2. Yeah, I might have. Oh no, I got them all. Okay. Cool. Alright, let's go save our game. Hello, Wrinkly.
I'm sure all that running around has made you tired.
I don't know if I've ever actually read through all of Wrinkly's explanations about things. This one looks interesting, though. Cranky's video game hero coins. A very large coin with DK on it. Each level has one, cunningly hidden by Cranky. So Cranky himself is hidden. Yeah. He's gone through all these stages, which collect these to increase your status as a game hero. Hey, there's all the indication in the world we need that Cranky is perfectly capable in his old age, which we would finally see proven by ourselves in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. He ain't no slouch, that old gorilla. Alright. Little palette swap. Introduced to our first Cutlass, which is always, I think, probably my favorite baddie in this game. So, that team-up move becomes very important in this early section of this stage. As does the roll jump here. This gets very precarious. And I'm glad I didn't screw it up. We also are seeing this treasure chest, which requires multiple hits to unlock. They really make you work for that hero coin. Oh, listeners of the podcast might get a kick out of this. Ha 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 ha. Weird little height differentiation. I'm not sure who constructed that. Maybe it's the naughties from the first game. Some of them came over from Donkey Kong Island. I'm not sure what practical reason you'd have for varying heights on a bayou, but nature found a way. Oh. A lot of really tight timing with flitters and zingers, and the crockheads for that matter. What? We haven't seen Squitter yet. Or have we? And you know exactly what the score is. We've seen that sign. We're not going to get to keep him through this level as much as we would like to. If there's one animal buddy that needs to come back desperately, it's Squitter. For a platform game, he is so cool. I'm not going to worry about that coin, considering we're just using Diddy at the moment. You can also jump on those guys. Well, as we'll see right here. See? I told you we'd see it. I'm not gonna tempt fate. Oh, damn it! I was trying to jump and it wasn't jumping because I was still hitting up, so it was keeping me attached to the cattail. That's okay. These things happen. And just like Clapper, sometimes if I can't immediately jump onto these guys, I'll sort of obsessively hit their switch. It's interesting, you know, most games would be kind of self-conscious about the lack of a timer, but they were so dedicated to not having a HUD on the screen, you know, at all times in this game, that even things like Clapper, like the invincibility barrels and these crockhead barrels, they do have times, and those times are variable, but they wanted to keep the screen as free of clutter as possible, so you just trust that the game gives you reasonably enough time to get through these sections before they disappear. And you can see now he's gone. Oh, okay. What's further along? There's got to be something up here. Yeah. Okay. Alright, did I get everything? Yeah, doing great so far. Aha, Rattle Battle. Now this stage is one of the few that has its own unique theme tune. Oh, by the way, this is another place to grind banana coins. If you find yourself needing to save or something, you can, and you've beaten this level, you can start select right there and just get a bunch of them. But yeah, the music on this stage, fantastic. It basically is the logical end point for the kind of the pirate theming. It just takes everything, turns the swashbuckling up to 11, and the official name is Snaky Shanty. Absolutely, absolutely fantastic. And it takes a second to really kick in, so you'll hear it in a moment. Here we go. I like how they time it out as well, so that it usually the real you know, melody of this level really kicks in as soon as you've turned into Rattly, so it's pretty well timed. That once again, I doubt that was accidental. Very little about this game is. Ooh, yeah, he all right, I'll give that to the game. He did clip me a little bit. All right, so here's a tricky section. I think well, this might not be it. There's one coming up that actually requires you to jump into like one of these exposed sections of hull. I don't think that one's it. You can get some serious height in this stage. Saw those bananas down there. We'll go to both the left and the right, as is our wont. These overcast skies are sort of betraying what will happen in a stage very soon. Backtrack a bit. I want to see what was down there. Nothing! It's so easy to just jump straight into their faces. Oh. Okay, here's that moment I was talking about. Now you really need to get rid of this Zinger, and it's kind of hard to do because he barely juts his head out. But the reason you need to do that is because, you see that banana, he would have been hovering right above our head right here, and that's a headache I don't feel like tangling with. Now with Rattly you can jump on those cannonballs, but they're a much smaller platforming target than the barrels themselves. Once again, gotta point out the sky, or the water rather, and the sky for that matter, All the parallax going on, so impressive. Especially considering the ocean is flowing by. Or, I guess I mean the swamp in this case. Alright. Really have to time this one out. Oh, he actually does too fast and too slow. Or, too fast and one slow. Okay. And I missed it. That's okay. We'll just get it the old-fashioned way. Take care of this first, before we follow the helpful directions laid out by the banana sprites, whom we won't meet for a further 15 years. That that bounce jump will be very effective in this stage, or in this bonus level. The only other way to get some of these would be to use the power jump, but of course it's a bit of a time sink. That same technique is also very effective in Toxic Tower, and in Slime Climb for that matter, stage we're about to play. Serious height. Okay. And in this case, you really want to avoid those so you can hit the zinger. I like how despite the fact that the cannons are, it's the same baddie pointing in different directions, entirely different model and, or not a different model, but a different sprite, different animation on him. Whoa! I did not see that. His location must have reset. Okay, I don't think I've missed anything. Hard to tell sometimes. Oh, great. We do have Dixie. Good. Only 75 lives. This is gonna get tight. Okay. Up next is our first introduction to Stickerbush Symphony. Yes, it's a bramble stage. No, it's not Slime Climb. What am I thinking? That's Bramble Blast. That's the one right after this. That's strange. I read words but completely saw different words. That's really bizarre. I don't know what just happened there. Could have used the click-clack to get rid of him, but I'm in a hurry. The water is now rising. You can see it in the background. What about a slowdown there? Come on, come on. I may have missed a bonus stage by doing that. I'm not sure. Damn. Thought I could roll into him, but I must have been just as he was firing out. One of those terrifying sections right here. A lot like the one that we saw in Lava Lagoon with the clapper and the superheated water. This is a good one to have Dixie on. As you can see, it's very easy to take out all of them in one drop. Or not. Well, or you could screw up like I did. I love that the Kremling flag there waving in the background. This part's also pretty scary in that you know that the water's rising, but it has you dip down for a second, even though it's extremely brief. Okay, the water is steady at the moment. I'm gonna go below these clingers. Alright, here it goes though. Yeah! See if I'm feeling lucky. Or skilly. Yeah, you can tell the parts that I'm not too comfortable with because I shut up for once. Ooh. And similar, this is a similar section to the one with the barrel that we saw just below, only now we have a reason to keep that item with us. It's like poetry, it rhymes. Oh, I thought that was it. Damn. Thought I'd be very clever. There we go. I wanted to make sure I got the right cycle. Because I did not have enough time to go back to the bottom and retrieve one of those cannonballs. Oh look, another terrifying section. I meant to get that banana, obviously. Felt like anything else would just be showing off. Okay. Yeah, it's being pointed out in the in the Twitch chat that that last stage was actually what we were seeing was this galleon sinking into the swamp. It wasn't actually water rising. Oh, beautiful. That layer of brambles in the background. This is just such a serene stage while being terrifying at the same time. It's also one that's very easy to accidentally miss the bonuses in, so I'll do my best to not screw it up. But some of the these barrels have very oh no have very specific pathways, and they can even lock you into directions that you might not even want to go if you're trying to search for everything. This one, I think, is just some bananas. Yeah. It is easy, and you'll see me do it probably several times to get cocky and think I know exactly what direction a barrel will be facing when I'm blasted out of it. And that's what lost us our poor little Dixie a second ago. Ah. I won't blame the lag, that was all me. But just to be safe. Oh. Just can you little chance for me to catch my breath. I figured this would be as good a time as any considering the music in the background. Let's make sure there's nothing up top. A second ago with Diddy, I didn't bother, but I want to make sure. Okay. Now I think there's a section with a green balloon coming up here, but you have to be quick to get it. It's right around the continue barrel, if I'm not mistaken. I also want to make sure that I don't accidentally blast myself into a section that prevents me from getting everything. There may be a bonus barrel down here in the corner. And indeed there is. Oh, this one's a little tricky. I think you have to go down. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, the pathway takes you... There we go. That's very easy to lose yourself in, especially considering there's nothing visual that tells you what all the directions that a barrel might blast you in. I only was able to navigate that successfully because I knew that you're going down first. But without that knowledge, it can be very tricky indeed. Very tricky indeed. Anything up here? No? Okay. I'm really trying to get to that one on the bottom left, but having a hard time of it. Here we go. Oh, you might have seen that. Yeah. See if we can get there. There we go. A little banana coin for our troubles. Now these barrels make me very nervous inside the brambles. Because it's that much easier to shoot yourself into them. Here's that section with a 1-up. You have to be really quick about it. Okay. That was unwise, what I just did. Also, is also unwise, jumping to hit that clamp on. As you see, there's brambles right above you. Isn't it interesting how effectively this is a mirrored texture? There are a few places where it's not entirely, but you look at a lot of the sprite work there, and it's basically the same thing flopped, but the way they put all these layers together, I'm talking about the bramble right above my head, it looks completely organic. They did such an amazing job of hiding the tiling. Okay. Now we actually do want to go this direction. Maybe I'll go the direction that it didn't want me to. Just to see. Okay. It's like a kind of water runoff right there. I think we'll get a glimpse of the hero coin. Aha! Which tells us that we'll soon be seeing one of our feathered friends on this stage. Oh yeah. Speaking of runoff, it'd be neat to see like a complete mapping of the various pathways. Like the way that Super Mario Maker allows you to, to see a previous run through of where you've been as you played through it. I would love to see like ghost data for all the different paths that people take as they play through this. Now, unlike one of the other Bramble stages, Bramble Scramble, probably the most famous one, the brambles will actually hurt the Kongs if you fall on them here. So I need to be very careful about where I'm going. And considering this is kind of an entirely optional bonus section of the stage, it's pretty significant considering you may not even see the other half. The more traditional traversal. All right, now this one, you do have the imperative to hit down as you're falling because there's that ticking clock. But if you If you do it too far, too quickly, very easy to slam yourself right into those brambles. So, despite the fact that that there is a ticker, it's in your best interest to take a little bit of time. Now, for the love of God, let's hope I got all the bonus stages there. Yes, okay, so before the boss, just verify that we did well everywhere, and we'll save our game. So far so good, 40%. Alright, Cudgel. Do your worst. So, it has recently been revealed on the aforementioned Greg Mail's Twitter account that the original final boss of this game was actually, it was going to be this fight, but it was going to be Clubba, with whom we were fighting. I think it was good that they let the end have you take out K. Rool. He's an iconic villain, and it's very satisfying considering, you know, he was the instigator of this game's events, and the previous game as well. I think it was the right choice. It was the right choice of them to make Cudgel the boss at this point. Especially considering his little ballerina moves might have looked a bit ridiculous at Crocodile Core. Yeah. Also, I think that as far as the difficulty goes, what we got with K. Rool's final battle in Crocodile Core is a bit harder than this one. And it makes more sense to be the actual final challenge of the game. Whereas this is, difficulty-wise, is pretty well graded for a 4th world boss. Third world boss. Alright, I'll let the game do its thing, and I'll take another quick restroom break. Back in a few seconds. All right, here we go. Krazy Kremland, take a glance at the chat. Yeah, Chris Alcock pointing out that Cudgel was wearing yellow shorts before it became fashionable for the bear community. Yeah, Krem Quay really isn't that far above sea level, so I guess the sinking ship kind of makes sense. Did I say Krem Quay? See, it's like ingrained in my memory. Krem Quay. All right. So, we're visiting a theme park for the first time. This should be permanently etched into the mind of Cameron Regal, who did the fantastic new skin for DK Vine in celebration of DKC2's 20th anniversary. It's Cremeland themed. But of course, as you want to do when exploring a theme park, we're going to take a trip into a wasp hive. And immediately, we are rewarded for going back and to the left. It's a little tricky at first to get the hang of jumping using those honey walls. You have to jump out and then back in. So it's pretty rapid back and forth, but once you figure it out, not too bad. Oh yeah, I can just run into these guys. Or not. Or that was a lie. Hey, that would be a good way actually to check this out. That's a solid way to grind for banana coins. Well, if you do it better than I did. Anyway. The end of world boss for Krazy Kremland, King Zing, is actually a much more effective way to get banana coins. Within like a second of starting that boss fight, you can get 2 and start select your way out. So if you're ever in dire need of banana coins, look no further than King Zing. All right, so let's go to the other bonus stage. So the question is coming up in the Twitch chat, what zingers are? Are they bees? Are they hornets? Well, hornets don't make honey. Wasps don't either. But one of the stages is hornet hole. And in fact, if you look at the anatomy of zingers, they look a lot more like wasps than they do bees. I say that zingers are their own species. By the way, this is a great way to get over patches of honey that you don't want to stick on. I think zingers, along with, naughties, click-clacks, all of those things, they are probably evolutionary derivatives of existing species, but because they are their own thing, they may have little behavioral tics that we're not used to. I think we'll come back down the other side for this one. By the way, the music for this stage is called Flight of the Zinger. A little nod to Flight of the Bumblebee, and that's very evident when you actually listen to it. How it's got these very, very rapid fire instrumentation. I think this might be a blue balloon, or a green balloon rather. Yep. It's funny how these little things stick with you all these years. Alright. And there may be something out to the side here, so I'm just going to do a little bit of exploration with Dixie. Nope, camera won't even move. That tells us all we need to know. But hey, see that hook? I think we're about to be reacquainted with that cool-ass spider with the sneakers from Donkey Kong Country 2. Spit-and webs. Yeah, if you don't know what the hell I was talking about right there, on Facebook, search for that cool-ass spider with the sneakers from Donkey Kong Country 2. It's a fan page someone created as an ode to Squitter, and it's one of the best things on the internet. I wish the people who made those sorts of things could somehow make their way to DK Vine and realize that they are not alone in their psychosis. We are a community of like-minded weirdos, and we wear that as a badge of pride. What the hell? What? That is... Wow. That zinger was the best dodger I've ever seen. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I didn't think I was, but just in case. No, 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 no. I do like getting all these bananas if I can. So you'll have to indulge me. There we go. Okay. Oh, did you see that? There's a crook down there. I don't think there's any reason I need to try and mess with him, but... Okay, that's just a Diddy and Dixie thing. By the way, I've never really figured out how this works, like, without the use of an FX chip, but the honey that's sort of slipping down the screen, I'm moving around a lot, so you can't really appreciate it, so let me stand still for a moment. Like, look, the little places where it's a little heavier, see how they kind of undulate? It's actually like it's oozing down the screen. It's not just a static sheet. It's so impressive. Ah, another cleverly hidden bonus stage. Oh no! Wow, I didn't hold on to the jump button long enough there. That would have been downright tragic. They can't hurt you, but those the little zingers in the honeycombs there always weirded me out. I don't think there's anything up here. Never hurts to double check. Whoa, unless it forces you off the screen. I think that was just a little just a little gift from the game. There's no real reason that we need to go over this. Squitter can easily take care of those zingers, but nice little divergent path. Rewarding exploration, even when it's not strictly necessary. Whoa, I forgot that I can no longer run on honey when I get rid of Squitter. Okay. Alright. Say hi to Wrinkly. Very briefly. Oh, you know what? We didn't do Swanky's Bonanza in the previous world. Alright, we'll have to do that before ending the stream today. That might be a good note to go out on once we beat Cremeland. I think this will probably be the last world that I do. Alright. Ah, that firework. The first thing you get to see before the full breadth of this theme park exposes itself. Like, check this out. Like, you can't see all that much of it. I love the way they... You know there's something back there that you really... And here you have a little glimpse of it. But then once we're on the coaster... Aw, yeah. Oh, that's amazing. They did such a good job of revealing this stage. This is one of those moments that's a treat for players, you know? That wasn't rhetorical. Do you know that? All right, you're as with the on rails, literally sections of the first Donkey Kong Country, you don't always have time to react. You just have to sort of instinctively jump in some cases and hope for the best. So it really does test your reflexes. Like there. I didn't remember that it was there, but I was kind of paying attention to that corner of the screen. And when you jump on him, you want to make sure right there that you're right below him, because it's all too easy to have some momentum as you jump on him and swing right into the brambles there. Oh, I've just glanced down at the chat and noticed, so Wrinkly has 2 globes on her desk, and neither of them are Earth. We'll need to look into that in a moment. Alright, I know at one point it will behoove us to follow a Clank Oh, here's the hero coin. Very well hidden. I think this is the clank that we need to follow below decks. Yeah. Okay. And I think this might be the one that oftentimes I have trouble with. Let's hope that's not the case. Yep, it is. Damn it. All right, I think I'll need to kill myself here. You're gonna start to see a bit of this, unfortunately, especially in the next roller coaster stage, Rickety Race. That one's really hard to get right. At least we got the continue barrel. And we're not too far away from the clank. I think he comes up right here. Yeah. I'll try to do better next time. I'm so sorry. And that timer, yeah, you know, it's on rails, but they make you nervous about it regardless. That's possibly the trickiest section. Or no, this would be. Or that would be. No, yeah, it's a couple really... Ooh, that was cocky. A couple really difficult bits in the stage, one after another. And then a slight misdirect there at the end. Let me just make sure there's nothing I'm missing. Okay. All right. So let's go look at those globes that were pointed out, lads. Okay, now, interesting. Are neither of them really Earth? Because I look at the one up top, and it looks like we might be looking at the Atlantic Ocean. I see a little landmass in the top right that could be Europe, could be in Africa right below it, might be a little off-kilter. The globe to the bottom, unfortunately the up conversion on the screen is making it a little blurrier. I would want to zoom in on the sprite itself. On the background layer to see if it maps to any actual maps. Interesting. I'm not quite ready to declare either of those not Earth, but a good note, certainly. Alright, Bramble Scramble. All right, so this is a stage that demands you to go left to start. So of course we go right at the entrance for bonus bits. Bramble Scramble is one of the favorite stages out there. Certainly one of my favorites. In no small part due to the music, but the way that it's punishingly difficult, but it takes its time. It slowly ramps up. It gives you, you know, definitely enough freedom to do what you need to do. It's like it's the perfect difficulty for this point in the game, when you should be fairly good by this point. And yet it's still no walk in the park. And there are sections that are off the beaten path that demand more of you. This is a tough one because there are some zingers that are hidden in these little alcoves that are tricky to get to without. I like to take care of that one from that little height, and it tends to make a little easier work of it. Alright, and you want to be very careful to not go into that little alcove and wind up losing squawks while you're in the middle of brambles. Okay, so now the camera is fixed. We can no longer go back, but what we can do is proceed with Squawks, and he gives us an attack, as he usually does. But in this stage in particular, it makes it so helpful to be able to clear a path, even with the likes of flitters. Now, as I mentioned previously, this level is pretty difficult. So one of the things they did was let you rest on the bottom. You don't want I wouldn't want to go off this ledge necessarily while resting because I could get clipped by the side. But they give you a little bit more room than you might immediately think. It alleviates some of that difficulty. I think that might have been something that came up as they were testing it. It was just too difficult for the point at which it shows up in the game. You can just hold down and go through that section very quickly. And generally when I approach a new area like this, I try and get as high as possible when I start shooting eggs to take out as many zingers as I can, or flitters or what have you. Now you can go down this. Like I said, they do give you quite a bit of buffer with the brambles hitboxes. They're pretty generous in that regard. And never one to pass up some banana coins, despite the fact that, once I save at the end of this world and we conclude the stream, yeah, they'll completely reset. So let me get the continue barrel, but we shan't continue in that direction. Let's say hi to Squitter. I always thought Squitter's his artwork that you see both on his barrel and down there in the corner was a bit strange. You see his whole body, and I understand the need for it. By the way, see that banana over there? It's not just a banana. I understand why they did it, but I had like a really shitty CRT when I was initially playing this as a kid, and it always kind of looked like it was supposed to be like his abdomen is a giant nose or something. I was never really sure what I was looking at because every other animal buddy, it's a relatively traditional shot, a subset of their normal render, like either their face or in Ratley's case, his full body, but you can certainly tell what it is. I never expected to see a top down of Squitter on that icon. Alright, back to Squawks. Gonna get some bananas up the top in this corner. Oh wait, no. Where are the bananas? There's a little cluster of like 6 bananas that I always want to get. Here they are. Look, you play Donkey Kong Country 2 your way, and I'll play it my way. We don't really need to take out that yellow zinger, but sometimes you can get him from above, and it makes that a little easier to traverse. Alright. Again, I want to stay up high to take out as many of these guys as I can. Oh, that was not the soundest strategy, unfortunately. And in Animal Antics, of course, you face those sorts of sections. Ah, no! You face those sort of sections while the wind is buffeting you back and forth. So as you saw on the map screen, I've already got I'll go the normal way. We can actually see both routes for once. I've already gotten both the hero coin and the bonus levels, so it's just a matter of completing it at this point. It's good, actually, that I died there, because we get to see this section that I don't often get to see, and I like how they... And now we're back to where we were. I like how there's that little cannon that moment with the two cannons. It's a neat little little bit of platforming, the likes of which I don't think we'll see precisely that again. There's something like it in a later stage called Chain Link Chamber. Yeah, it's not Clamber. Yeah, but not quite like that. All right, so let's do a better job of not dying. All right. And we've got the full complement of Kongs. Are these cloaks? Okay, so this is the very end of the stage. It may not be apparent, but this is the very top of the level. We've actually been ascending the entire time. I think it's really cool how can't even tell that really, but yeah, this, if you look at the way this level is constructed, for example, on the DKC-Atlas.com maps, it's really cool. You can, it's almost a puzzle the way that everything had to fit in together. All right. Now, I mentioned Rickety Race was going to give us a bit of trouble. Reason for that is because, as its name suggests, it is a race. I wonder if I can get over here with Diddy. Oh, not quite. I'll give it one more shot, and then I'll just do it the normal way. Hey! Oh no. Oh no. Okay, they give you a 1 Kremling buffer on that one. Very helpfully. Alright. Now, there's no Lackey 2, but we're going to be given a starting marker. We want to go backwards, though. Oh, God, this is going to be painful. I'm going to have to restart so many times. And what you really want to do is get past all of these clanks and not do that. It's those signs, those little exclamation mark signs that always throw me off because and we've gotten all the bonus levels, there's just the one. So the reason we need to play the race is because the hero coin is given for getting the number one spot. But yeah, those exclamation mark signs actually do more harm than good because they put me on edge, and sometimes I jump right when I see them, whereas they're actually indicating that a jump is coming up very shortly, but not immediately. So if you jump, you're probably going to fall in the chasm, which is exactly what I just did a second ago. I don't care about the Kong letters at the moment. Ah, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I know, they're talking in the chat. Apologies, we're going to be here for a while. Yeah, how you can actually get the hero coin without using the boost, it's very difficult to do. You have to... I want to say I've seen it before, but you have to get like extremely precise jumps and movements and everything to even see, much less overcome the clank in that spot. You don't have to kill all of them, by the way, as you just saw. You can just jump over them in some cases. Not nearly as satisfying, though, and you don't get your gradually escalating rewards either. Ah! It's a good thing we stocked up on all those lives, eh? Yeah, you'll have to forgive the silence. My stress level is directly proportional to your level of annoyance. Probably better that that happened. Oh, not that that happened, though. Got it! Oh, thank God. Alright. Now all we have to do is, beat the... I can't even think. Brain no work right. Okay. Whew! Let's say hi to Swanky. Come on, let's out of Yeah, that's the goop that my brain has turned into. That was a genuine attempt to read those words. Wrinkly's winner! What's the name of this area of the island? Lagoon Land. Of course, Krazy Kremland. We knew it wasn't the others because they weren't using. They were using the letter C, and that's verboten on Crocodile Isle, except for in the name Crocodile Isle. Okay. Yeah, there's no purple in Squawks, is there? Clever little monkey. The two companies that produced this game and Donkey Kong Country. Cremsoft Cruel, Rare Nintendo, Rare Rave Crocodile Games. There probably are companies these days, like at least indies, that are called both Rave and Crocodile Games. There's gotta be a Crocodile Games out there. What's the name of the first Wasp Hive level on this area of the game? Would be Hornet Hole. Horrible Hive. Well done. Let's have another. Ah, and I guess one of those options was Wasp Hive Horror. So yeah, it does sort of confirm that aside from the name of Queen Bee in the first game, they're really not. They're much closer to wasps and hornets than they are bees. The old Lady Kong's name is not Crinkly nor Crocky. I like Crinkly though. It's like a cellophane wrap. Which of these items is not to be found at closed kiosk? There is an oil drum, and there are boxing gloves and a punching bag with Diddy's face on it. We've maxed out our lives at 99. That won't stop us from getting our hands on that sweet baboon booty. Our snake is not Hisser, not Slithers. What color waistcoat does Cranky wear? I think it's green in this game. Yeah. And in a lot of cases, it's actually, it behooves you to read the manual, because I don't think they ever really tell you the name of, like, Ratley, for example. Which of the enemies have you not yet seen during this area? Cutlass. We've seen Cutlass. We've seen... Yep. Yeah, because Cutlass was in the first swamp level. Cat o' Nine Tails won't be coming until the next one, which I think is Mudhole Marsh. Didn't we do well? Great contestants. It looks like Swanky's hair is grayed a bit. Whereas in his render, it just looks like a kind of a fur-colored... It's like he's got a perm. Ah, hey, Steve from Rare Gamer is now in the chat. Welcome, Steve. That was probably foolish. Bow. very few instances in which I actually want to get wrapped up in the cat o' nine tails. They'll usually, well, they throw you off in a somewhat random direction, so you don't want, shit. Unless you're in a situation like I am now, where we need to access things that are high up, and that's the only way to do it, so you need to roll the dice a bit. You normally just want to team throw everywhere. Alright, I think this one will give us a DK barrel. Yeah. And this will give us an invincibility. I think this is just a way to get through this section faster, though. Yeah, I don't think there's any actual bonus level or anything that you need to use that to access, other than, like, right here. So I guess if you go through as quickly as possible, you can avoid having to do that, but no biggie. So it gives you the DK barrel here, suggesting what it is you need to do. So if you use that, I think it's Yasad Lad, that cheat that gets rid of the DK barrels, this is the one that, you know, since there was no barrel to spawn, see, there it is. Since there shouldn't have been a barrel if you have that cheat code on, as soon as it falls on the ground, you can, like, actually pick it up before the game registers that it's not supposed to be there, so Diddy can be running around holding nothing. And then sometimes if you throw that nothing at a bad guy, it will force them to fly off the other side of the screen. It's not really a bug, considering you have to use a cheat code to access it, but it's a little curiosity. Okay, so that's fine. Otherwise, you know, if I hadn't gotten rid of that zinger, we would have been in for a world of hurt right there. Now here you don't want one of those barrels to hit the cannonball as you're jumping over the gap, because that will cause you to lose your grip on the cannonball and it'll just fall into the swamp, and then you can't access this bonus stage. There we go. Dixie falls in the swamp. All right. I love these little sections where you have to bounce on the barrels. Not sure what the point of that was. Alright, I don't trust this cat o' nine tails. Let's get rid of him. Easy done. Same with this one. Alright. Oh no. Okay, here's one of those notorious... Yep, you see it? Boom, boom, there. Boom, 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 there. No! Oh! I wasn't holding the jump. And now we've got to go through the whole damn thing again. See how quickly I can do this. need the DK barrel. Sorry about this. We'll try and avoid this when it comes time for Webwoods. That one's even more difficult in some respects. There's no need to bother ourselves with this bonus level. I will be taking that banana coin, however. Alright, let's try this again. There we go. Ugh. Yeah, the Twitch chat is remarking it at the sadism on display. Oh, you know what? We actually we skipped the last Lost World stage as well. Oh, actually, we've skipped all of them. We'll go back and take them one by one, I think. That might be the best way to do it. Alright. Let's continue onward, though. I know we're edging on 3 hours, so thank you to everyone who's stuck around. This is it for us until we get to the boss, though, so we're almost there for today. I'm not going to worry about that coin, because right below it is a Zinger whose thorns or spines are waiting for our monkey hides. Is there something up here? There's something in one of these sections that I think it might be on this level, maybe a little bit higher. Oh, here I think there might be a letter in the middle. Yep. Yeah. And these clamp-ons always give me trouble because their mouth just reaches over the edge, and I think that's for later. You can see up there in the corner. Makes you want to reach for it, but we can't quite get there. Alright. Just want to make sure it's nothing more significant that we're missing. Now these bits right here with the zingers going side by side, nerve-wracking. Nothing up there. Okay. I like to try and get down as quickly as possible. Okay, good. Usually that'll catch you. It's very hard to thread those two hooks, as it were. But equally hard is getting down there without killing yourself. It's nice that they give you this little bit of a safety net. That won't last for long, though. Yeah, sometimes Dixie's hair will get stuck sticking straight up if she's in the second player. Glad they gave us that hook, otherwise we'd be a little screwed in this moment. Okay, it's hard to do to get up and around those outer stretches. It's similar to those little alcoves in Banjo-Kazooie that you see in the likes of Shark Food Island, or even in Grunty's Lair to get to, I think, the Rusty Bucket Bay painting, where you have to go out and back in very quickly. Since I've only got the one Kong, I'm being a little bit extra careful. Trying not to charge ahead and get myself killed. Although I do think I need a DK barrel pretty soon, or I'm going to have some trouble. Right here. Oh, thank God. Okay, I was worried that they... I forgot that there were those hooks there. So this is the other side of that of this little door with Rambi, but it's blocking this Zinger is blocking this. I do wish that I had Diddy with me because I'm sure the game prevents it, but I want to see if it's possible to just sacrifice one of your Kongs and make your way through to the next part of the stage, which you can't actually traverse without Rambi. Alright, and there's almost nothing that can hurt us now. Although this, well, except for that. Because I hit this animation, it's much like On Guards. I mentioned earlier that there's a few frames that leave you vulnerable, and I just happened to hit that at exactly the wrong time. But that's okay. We're about to see the boss of the world. Oh my God! It's King Zing. And depending on how fast you're making your way through this section, you can actually see him behind you, and it makes it all the more terrifying. And it makes it doubly difficult to get this bonus stage. Considering you know, how harried you must be by that point. Harried and hurried. And I'm going to make a point not to trigger that animation because I don't want to accidentally get hit at any point in this bonus level because I don't think I can get back into it. Okay. Took my time. Watched the timer. And is King Zing there? No, I don't think they put him there. Yeah, and the wall has sealed up again as well. That's fine. Delicious bananas. Alright. So, I mean, it'll take a bit of walking, but I do want to save my game before anything happens. Up to and including a power outage. You know, it's actually on the last Twitch stream that I did for the first Donkey Kong Country, which was incidentally the first Twitch stream I've ever done. I forgot that the games didn't autosave in those days, so I actually never went to Candy Kong after concluding the stream. So when I want to resume it, I'll have to play up to that point again and try and make sure not to get any bonus stages that I didn't get on that initial playthrough. Alright, so those banana coins, if you recall, right there. So very simple to just start and select your way out of the stage. Alright, so you have to get up and under King Zing to hit the one vulnerable spot he has, which is that, you know, it's video game logic, of course, so it's the red pulsating thing. His 8-directional shooter is pretty consistent, so if you know what to expect, it's not terribly difficult. But he does speed up, which makes it a lot harder to get up and under him. Got it. And he comes at you a little faster this time. Alright, I've still got it. He's tough, but he's not that tough. I find it most effective to just kind of peek out from under him. It's harder when he's going down to hit him, I find. Yeah, well, we'll see what we do. I'll wait for the next cycle. Eventually it's going to turn into a swarm of smaller zingers. There we go. And I'll have to do what I can to take them out. And then this one will follow me around. And I'm not quite sure biologically what's happening with King Zing at the moment, but whatever it is, it's interesting. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, I thought that was it. That was very close. Alright, now he can't hurt us anymore. But I like to go to the top and let the Kongs drop all the way down. All right, so that's it for Krazy Kremland. As I said, let's go finish Swanky's bonus in Krem Quay, and then we'll save the game and be on our way.
It's great to see you back. I wish you could win everything. I really do.
How can your snake buddy do that's so special? Certainly doesn't do any of those. The level with the anglerfish who helps you with his underwater life. Torch Tragedy. It's a bit maudlin. Here's the next one. What's the name of the big muscle-bound crocodile who guards the Dole Bridge? Claggy. No, it is neither Klunga nor the beautiful clagginess. How many lives you start? Usually it's 5. Yep. To team up, I press A. I don't know if there's another button like there is with Squidder's webs. Rhino Buddy's name, of course. Bam Bam or Rambus. He's a rhino, not a quadrilateral. Name of this area of the island. Don Quay. Okay, I never got this pun. Don Quay. It's Don Quay. Don Quixote. Well done. Okay. Don Quay. Don Quay. Come on. Parrot Buddy, of course. So here's the origin of our initial fanon names for Quawks and Squawk. Squeaks and Flapper. The 2 purple parrots that show up in Parrot Shoot Panic in Gloomy Gulch. We figured, well, if we have to give these animal buddies names, might as well be something that's appeared officially. There are 2 airplanes in the roof of Kong College. So, we have gotten 3 more 99 Luftballons. So that'll do it. I'll hang out in the Twitch chat for a bit, but yeah, I'll just go and save the game. Thanks for sticking with it. I'm not sure precisely when I'm going to pick up Donkey Kong Country 2 again. I'm going to maintain the Sundays to play through Banjo-Kazooie, but we'll make sure that whatever we do, it's File 3 Productions for Donkey Kong Country 2 next time we pick it up. And my battery backup has been pretty strong so far. All right. How's the chat doing? Thanks to everyone who's stuck it out, and to those of you who may be listening later that showed up and needed to leave. I really appreciate it. I know this was a longer one than normal. All right, I'm going to do something very foolish. I'm going to try and play the game while reading the stream. Wow, looks like the activity has more or less died down. Yeah, this may be short-lived. Oh, thanks, Steve. I wouldn't say I can necessarily decimate every challenge. It took a few tries with some of those harder ones. Kiwi. Yeah, I'm glad you did learn something. I learned a few things myself. Yeah, every time I take a deep dive into one of these games, I'm always shocked at like how it just continues to unfold in front of me You know, despite the fact I've been playing this for literally 2 full decades now. Like that. I never knew that I could just skip that zinger. Twitch plays, Chad plays, DKC2. Okay, tell me when I should do this barrel. Alright? Forget the fact that there's 14 seconds of lag. Come on. When should I do it? When should I do it? Oh. Good job, guys. Have I listened to the remix of this song with the Phil Collins one? The Logcast played it. Yeah, it's funny that the Logcast played it because about 15 years ago, I actually put that together. I don't know if it's the one that they put out, but the original overdub of what I called In the Swamp Tonight was, yeah, that was a Chad McCanna joint, just like the song titles Evil Acorns, Smelly Bastard, and Mining Melancholy. It's funny how in those days, since there were so few fan sites and certainly fewer still that traded in multimedia, so many things that we did back then have stuck through the ages. Again, I'm not sure if the precise overdub that I made was the one that they ultimately played on that episode of the Logcast, but I certainly put one together. Ooh, Mining Melancholy and Rockface Rumble. I don't know that I've ever heard that mashup. That could sound good. From Donkey Kong Country 3. Yeah. Ooh, I could see that. Yeah, I'll check that out as soon as the stream's over. Cheers. Damn. Twitch plays, Chad plays, DKC2 is failing spectacularly. No, mine did not include Mining Melancholy after the drum solo. It just continued along. I was a purist in that I would mix 2 songs together, but 3 was a bridge too far. Thanks for coming in the stream, Kiwi. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't want you to get reprimanded on my account. Ooh. Oh, it's not too special, Jeff. Honestly, I reckon the one you heard from the Logcast is probably better, considering they actually did, like, you know, contextual mixing of songs to make it sound more interesting. I just sort of overlapped them and timed them together, which was no small feat in those days because I actually had to look at the waveform since obviously the DKC2 soundtrack is on MIDI and there's, you know, no reason for them not to have that MIDI track just, you know, maintain the tempo mechanically. It's very consistent, whereas In the Air Tonight is ever so slightly off, but little by little. Well, that was terrible. You know, because it's being played by humans, so they're not metronomes. You know, they don't they might have you know, one ticking away, but for whatever reason, Phil Collins and I don't remember if that was solo or if the rest of Genesis played that with him, but either way, whoever was keeping beat wasn't doing as good a job as the internal clock of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. So it was a series of constant, minute timing corrections as the song went along. It's a real pain in the ass when I wasn't using the sophisticated audio editing software of today. I think I was on a very early version of Cool Edit Pro. Oh, Snorkel the Dolphin. Relaxing. I wouldn't have guessed that, but that's fantastic. You could do worse on a Saturday morning. Ow. Playing out of the corner of my eye is not too effective, it seems. Steve, you posted the link. I'll check that out in a bit. Thank you. Boring, boring. Dixie Falls for hours. Yeah, Jeff apparently noticed that, despite the fact that I've killed myself, I'll do it again right here, my counter stays at 99. So yes, the game only gives you 2 digits, but it does keep track of how many lives you have, which is, funnily enough, exactly how Donkey Kong Land works, only they stack up your lives across the bottom of the screen as... there's a row of actual heart shapes, each one of them signifying a different life. Oh wait, no, I didn't want to go into here. Boing, boing. Yeah, I'm just dicking around at this point. Feel free to slough away. Just want to be a good host. Oh yeah, Chris mentioned the overclocked remix version of the Lava Lagoon song, Hothead Bop. That one's fantastic. The rigging one also always comes to the forefront of my mind, that like just captures the spirit of the game. That whole album, by the way, with a few exceptions that use lyrics, which kind of sacrilege in my mind a bit, but there's an audience for it. By and large, though, that whole album is phenomenal. And of course, it concludes with a remix of Donkey Kong Rescued called Donkey Kong Reskewed, that was in some cases post-Rare collaboration between Dave Wise, Robin Beanland, and Grant Kirkhope. Again, Donkey Kong Reskewed. Highly suggest you check that out. What I'm trying to do, by the way, just idly, is... Not idly do the leaves of the Lorien fall. Is, oh, damn it. That was foolish. Well, I may just abandon it. I wanted to get to Rambi and see if I could clip through that zinger. I didn't have a chance to look up when we were actually playing it to see if you can get into the Rambi section without Rambi. But considering Chris tested this on the Game Boy Advance, I'm assuming he has gone through that scenario and could probably tell us whether or not you can. I keep looking up at the chat and killing myself. You're doing a lovely instrumental album and start wailing over the top of it, I'll be... Yeah. Agreed. Shoe death is the only proper course of action. Well, let's just abandon this whole this whole Hornet enterprise, shall we? Oh, yeah, no worries. The question was, in Rambi Rumble, there's that one zinger that prevents the Kongs from getting to the part that you normally play as with Rambi. If you have both Kongs, can you sacrifice one at the altar of that zinger and actually go past it and get into the Rambi section as the Kongs? Thanks for those of you in the chat relaying the question. You can. Okay. Well, that sounds worthy enough of a goal for me to attempt. For shits and giggles. I'll try and keep an eye on the chat though, so it's not just a boring retread of what we've already done. By the way, what do you guys think? This should this post-show banter be part of the YouTube upload? I'm sort of split down the middle. I'll follow your direction. I don't know if it would have as much usefulness for the evergreen audience, considering they can't actually see the Twitch chat. Yeah, sure. All right, then. Yeah, I'll keep it in. Looks like that's the way the voting is going. Okay, good. We've got both Kongs. All right, let's do it. I want to keep Dixie with me. Well, I don't know what I expected. Yeah. Okay, mystery solved. Well, mystery, solution confirmed. All right. Okay, we have just hit the 3-hour mark, so I think I'm gonna call it a stream. All right, thanks to everyone who stuck it out. I'll hang out in the chat for a little bit, but thus concludes the first Donkey Kong Country 2 Involuntary Twitching.